对耶和华求，我由原底爱求，就是一世人徛起耶和华的厝，看伊的阳光，照亮伊的天。
家要来讲这个信息，我实在真是非常的知我感觉有这个机会，将我经验，我体验分享，我感觉是真好机会。所以我这要来开始，我来讲，就是我生活内底的事情。Good morning, everybody. Everyone have a little bit kind of secret in their life, so not many people know. Today, the first time I want to give a sermon here, and I would want to use this opportunity to share with you what my experience, and then to tell you what I learned from being in the church and this fellowship. Is that number one, God is true. Number two, God will not put us in a test more than we can bear. And number three, He will always find a way out to me. And this is what I learned, and then I want to share with you where I kind of come to understand this message. 咱最近拢去这个Lín開一條這配飾啊，大家攏真辛苦。我想足濟人參加人，攏有一個生活的那種時間。我特別我是個感動。我的心得就是講咱這個教會組織，咱主要大家攏是啥物？攏是同工。唔是講你是屬於是長老，你是牧師，你是會友。你是安怎？大家攏是同工。同工要做啥物代志？要替一間教會來做工，一間教會是啥物來教會？講嘅是咱嘅教會，我一間我較重要嘅是上帝嘅教會。所以我保證嘅代志，就是講咱大家攏是同工，替上帝交代咱做嘅代志，是咱個人嘅即個能力內底，咱好好來做。咱伫教會做代志，可能會壓力更大，這是我最大嘅即個事件。During the retreat, we had learn something about how we want to work together. And then we learned that this is our church, but not only us, but this is the church of God. And we're here to take responsibility of what the God has given to us. And then we do that. We can walk here together for God. And that is something very important to remember. So this is what I learned. And then summer retreat, we'll enjoy time, and then now time is over. We're going to come back here and face the reality that we have a church that we need to continue working together. This is giving us a refresh of our energy, and we need to continue work on and then work together. 那我再来讲我的信用经验头一个，但是我厝内底。我的老母是第一个基督徒，伊去日本读册的时阵，伊住伫迄个宿舍内底，迄宿舍的仪式里头，咱迄个头边是信徒，所以传去教会，伊才开始接受主。毕业了，我才刚毕业，我等来了，结婚有这个家庭，就是阮内底厝内底第一个基督徒，因为伊的影响，我细汉就。斗六，我是斗六，主日路，我过会记哩，迄个主日路，上个即摆日，其实是学迄个罗马字以外，我一个上介欢喜的，就是即个过活节，因为每一个人拢有当分一个饭嘛。咱可能迄阵仔时阵有较无哪食，所以迄个对咱讲是真普遍，是像即摆囡仔看饭食有3日即有阵仔做真。印象会比较了后去读册，我拢一直去教会。我较认真的就是讲，大学的时阵，我伫医学院台大医学院，台大医学院学生拢去和平教会，台大迄个学生拢去和平教会。不过我伫台大，我走去济南教会。迄中间有一个我的宿舍迄个弟弟叫做周新安伊是周新洲牧师的高科啦。伊足认真了， 必考的时阵，咱礼拜二早起来拢困唔着，拢去宿舍弄。哦，星期啊来教会爱是带我较侪囡仔，也是伫迄个智能教会。智能教会一样的边啊，所以以后我3年去以后去读册，就全咧拢伫智能教会。所以我伫大学的时阵真活泼，真丰富，真认真哦。伫迄个教会内底，我也做到青年方面的这个定华参加生活伫我爱从伫迄个学校内底，这个活跃哦。了后我1972来芝加哥，我伫芝加哥也拢去教会参加教会。了后8月来咱波士顿教会，咱家己知影我嘛来遮参加这个教会。所以我甲教会这个关系已经足久足久。足侪人感觉，这个哦，就是教会咧兴out，咧混一段时间哦，叫来洗礼啦吼。我以前就是感觉，我做唔到自己，所以我迄个时阵经过安尼足一年，我无洗礼，我有一个原因，你甲大家讲。Just tell about my kind of journey in my faith. My mother is the first Christian in my family, and then he guided us, tell us to go to Sunday school. I did. And then I was very active in a college youth fellowship. And then come to the United States, to Chicago, 72, and come to Boston in 86. And I has been hanging out in the church. And many people knows me and say, this guy has been hanging out here for quite some time. He should know a lot of the Bible. He should have enough faith. We like him to be better like the baptized and then become a formal name. I tell them, no, I am not ready. And then this is not just an excuse. This is really my feeling at the time. Is that I am not ready. Why? Because I saw fellow Christians, members in the church, even the elder, even the minister. What they do is not really up to my understanding about what Jesus said. And you know, in Chicago, in Boston, there are all some kind of problem in the church, and then minister, and then the elder, the deacons, they all have different things. That kind of made me feel like, well, if a Christian will do things like that, I prefer not to be. So what I'm telling myself is that I want to keep trying to improve myself, better my behavior, my way of doing things, until I'm really thinking about being qualified to be a Christian. 所以我真正就是看到这个情形，我一定不等，我讲我无资格，我爱去修行，我爱去认真来做。不过，迄是啥物款？就是讲，咱了解这是你的条路，你会无了解，你无唔知讲人是啥物款的人哦。咱大家拢是做的人，哦，咱大家拢是无完全。你讲卡多啊，你认真来做，你也是我会当讲安尼真完全的呀。所以我一直怀疑我，你知我会等40年吼，要未洗礼。啊，这代志经过，就是讲，伫15年前吼，大家可能你都唔知我以前伫这个教会，我的查某囝就洗礼，伊捌有一场大病吼，破病我的背，我伫迄个顾伊我这小孩的病时阵吼，我亲手感觉讲，上帝有透过朋友，透过伫我身躯边的人，我感觉讲有伊爱，有伊疼。哪里了后，我有一个信心，讲上帝是会当信过的。上帝甲你试探的时阵，无互你试探甲你无法度忍受，你挡袂了，你一定会出一条路来出。你若有信心，到尾你会一行。So then I went on that material about 15 years ago, and still remember still in this church, then 15 years ago. Some of you might remember my daughter, Sherry, had a serious infection in the spinal cord. It took 5 months to recover. During this illness, we have appreciated about the grace of God through people and the members in us, and then the people around us, make us feel like God still cares about us. God will give us a way out, even in a difficult period of time. Okay, so I'm going to tell a little bit about what Sharon went through, and then maybe let you get a better idea about what as a parent goes through during that time.我想讲，我即嘛要讲的是比較我老頂老師講即個代志，就甲老頂老師我有關係。我決定講要受洗的時陣，迄個時陣是咱教會老頂老是迄個小會的主席，所以教會你就愛去甲迄個小會甲迄個主席講，去後你是啊，來洗的時陣，我會記得老頂老甲我講。大家顧我呢隻洗禮我喺度記呢個垃圾嘅，所以伊有好奇甲同學講，你先啊答應我無機會甲伊回答，對唔對？我自己常常咧講先迄個巡迴迄禮拜是咪叫講英文？講當你迄個禮拜你唔愛講緊出來，就使我而家機會所以我當然無機會老表講，我機會先啦，我是安怎會甲接受這個信用嘅，所以我有機會通甲老表講，即個我感覺有這個機會者，講我嘅經驗，先說請教老表講，老表你看這個林信義最近咱個看像你安尼講，伊有資格大家做這個受洗我實在是足愛講，甲你講這個無機會通來講，我知影，我對面你唔知你出來講奇怪，這個人遮濟佇咧教會遮久我叫你洗。So that's my experience about how I accept God. But kind of little story about that is that at that time, airline is a president of the airborne of air. As a rule, I had to tell him why I become a Christian, why I accept the faith. But then airline find out that this is very unusual. This person almost 60 years ago, and then start to convert and say that he wanted to be a Christian. He didn't ask me why you wait so long. But before I get a chance to tell him at that time, the presider of the service knock at the door and say it's time for the service. Come back here, and then we would need to have a service started. So I didn't get a chance to tell him what I have gone through, why I become a Christian. So this is an opportunity for me to tell him, and I want to see whether he would accept. Say the guy didn't get a chance to tell me why he became a Christian. Now, is this guy good enough? And you will accept this as a member of the church. So that's the story. I want to tell a little bit detail about what my sharing goes through. As I'm a doctor, I'm trying to say how I'm going to explain about this thing. I cannot help but using like a doctor writing the medical records. The first week what happened, the second week whatever. We will just recover and give you more idea what happened. Okay, so let me tell you that we were very blessed, really, to have a daughter, Sharon. She's a very kind of unique and unusual person in the way that she loves animals. And since she can talk about her feelings, she never changed her mind. She said, I want to be a veterinarian doctor, animal doctor. That's it. I tell you, asking me, would you like to be, a lawyer, doctor, and then others would say, no, I like animals. And he stick with that. That is something very unusual for a girl. And then he graduated from college, and then he was accepted to the top best school. That's not a very easy thing. So she's very lucky, interested in being an animal doctor, and go through this hardship and get into the best school. And then after the first year, she went to Boston Zoo, very active, become a volunteer working with the animal, and then part-time was assistant at the Harvard lab, doing something very important. So she's a very active person, and her personality, you know her, and kind of shouldn't say that as a parent, but I see her as very outgoing, very friendly, nice person. See, this is a girl full of future. then was struck by this serious illness. 这小文哦，第7次哦，过年间哦，早时暗时哦，等下厝哦，我第一个先生咧较早起，隔天再起来哦，讲会打，差到无啥会领导的，差袂领导。昨儿咧过偌久，3点钟哦，过愈来愈慢，尾后我就紧送去急诊室医生就讲你这哦，迄个脊髓神经有问题，唔知是啥问题，你赶紧来过来，所以马上就过来。其实小文这个早上才足好处哦，我讲父母可能安尼私心啊，这是足有干的，安尼开始哦，发病了哦，差不多3天哦，将伊骹处咯，骹拢袂变动，骹拢袂变动，伊个皮会变，愈来愈严重，实在是你说哦，做病务实在是情况足好。所以 after this sudden accident, she was hospitalized right away, and then what it was is that within 3 days, such a rapid progress, the signal moved her both legs, paralyzed completely, and then lost the sensation. Now, the level up to the chest. Now, there's a linear thing. If you lose your muscle power, controlling your chest muscle, you might not be able to breathe, and then you need to use the iron lung. And then she was in the emergency, in the ICU. Iron lung really there. Unfortunately, we didn't get up there. But for 3 days, in 3 days, she becomes completely paralyzed and lost the sensation of the chest. It started to have some weakness with the arm. So, as a parent, we really feel like this is terrible things going to happen. 不过，两礼拜、3礼拜讲起来，你大家当想象讲，一个好好查某囡仔，3日内底。骹拢袂变动，倒伫倒1礼拜，骹含营养袂了，拢袂动，迄是真迄个活的这个发病哦。医生讲无啥物活啦，有等安尼哦，注一寡迄个 steroid 类固醇哦，迄是最后注类固醇，都无啥进步，所以即摆讲起来哦，讲伊当时讲你1礼拜有间哦，看拢无咧进步，实在我就感觉，讲过2礼拜无较歹，不过嘛是强调，所以你较是一个查某囡仔好可能讲3礼拜，骹拢袂变动，你确实讲这人袂好，后摆了哦，咱就去是个，所以会当了解讲，做老母人以前是我艰苦的这个。So the worst thing continued for 3 weeks. He lost the control, paralyzed for both legs, cannot move at all. And then started to have some weakness in the arm, and then he lost sensation. And unfortunately, 3 weeks later, he's sort of stable, didn't get worse, but not get better anyway, and not get better either. So the doctor said, well, transfer the patient to the rehab wards, or you learn how to transfer yourself from the bed to the wheelchair so you can move around. How you can help yourself to change your dress. So this is simple thing about putting changing dress. For people who cannot lost muscle strength, especially start with a weakness, it becomes a major issue. So you see, the hospital plus the rehab bed prepare us for what can be the worst. That means you are using the wheelchair and to learn to be independent. Push yourself with your arms yourself from the bed to the wheelchair. And then also learn how to use the catheter so you can take care of the blood problem yourself. So this is all kind of measure tell you that this case isn't going to help better. Just stay like that. This is really terrible for us. 我好时啊，伫迄个福建的平台内底，福建省就是教你讲怎啊对病人，移出来伦理哦，伊怎准备讲你后摆啦，从来伫骹面顶头你来做伦理哦，不要来家己穿衫，这个样代志哦，因为这脊髓这个方面结构，所以 发了结果，所以伊的同工哦，我好，我都家己好叫做控制，所以就爱用迄落搞环境咯，你就爱家己顾啊，家己查的。所以你看迄医生咧做嘅，有准备讲这是以后就是你安尼情况，所以做美物的实是看人咧情况情况。就这个中间哦，就讲宇宙啊，朋友加搭配哦看人为哦我实在是哦，咱到我的这个老板哦，是真经典哦，伊讲啊，这个人是这个上帝做的哦，啊有什么艺术，也这个看安怎处理嘛，咱就做啊，上帝来跟道行的意见，啊，所以大家拢会甲我讲嘛哦，啊，我就讲实在是三个工作做很多到尾。刚刚去探访你，伊足可以的。你来看啊，我喺大埔路开始点人，我即摆都会讲，我恁试看下，有足努力嘅，喺开始点人。我会当，即摆都会记咧就，我一个希望讲，看开始代志要改变，这是头一个，迄个我嘅这个情况。About 3 weeks later, a stay like that is really desperate. That's what's going to happen. She's in a hospital trying to train her to be able to take care of herself and prepare for the long fighting in the disabled kind of person. We sort of feel discouraged. But then 3 weeks later, one morning when we go visit her in the hospital, she was so excited, telling us, she said, look, I can move my toes. I think the right leg, yeah, the big toe. And then he showed us, both of me and my wife, look at that, we're so excited about this tiny movement. So this is the sign of hope. 不过礼拜三礼拜，慢慢就说好啊，所以拢总现在就讲叫我收回啊，差不多拢总7礼拜，到尾已经训练讲会当起来。双杠我咧行吼，一旦叫做 crutch 做咧手咧，所以到尾吼，到哪礼拜7礼拜是，伊会当家己慢慢行，会当处理家己代志。或者譬如讲，我想该处理，这样讲你这个后面在处理吼，袂使讲我叫能够做什么。So we have to after recover to some extent, fortunately. She has progressed to the point she can walk, even though with the crutches to walk. And then the hospital said they have done the best we can, so you need to go home. You discharge go home. You know, in an ordinary family, you don't have this ramp on the entrance to sort of this kind of help for wheelchair to get into your house. And then in the bathroom, take a shower, you need a chair. And then the master bedroom that we sleep is on the first floor. But now, Sarah come back home. She will use that room and go upstairs. So there's some accommodation that we need to do. But the most appreciated thing is a carpenter. That we tell them we have an order coming back from the hospital. It'll be tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We need to have this rent due right away before she comes home. Okay? And then the carpenter, knowing that the daughter is sick, so she kind of helping us and we do it. 所以，迄个准备好势，欢迎等。等来了哦，就讲安尼说，国会，我爱去好好坐啊，哦，好开始啊，这个暑假好开始这个就讲哦，咱要上课会当听啊，所以头开始，伊个同学上课拢容易，录音带有人带你好顺去要等钱，就来推我的信箱里去，我的信箱里面有推个空白的那个录音带，一样录音，所以你那学生啊，都把你教所以这个代志咧，慢慢哦，会较顺利哦。不过你即摆袂使拢要注意啊，即摆较好势来去读册，读册时阵哦，对 讲吼，我个囡仔吼，早时较早7点来做，再等来了，再去上班。路边4点、3点、4点就上班，早起后才在等。大家知影吼，真教师是我老板嘛，所以拄着知影我出来就是，就家己真实出来讲，这个事情怎么办？不要怎么，迄个事情怎么做好？伊讲安尼啦吼，你其实较早早退，咱我这个2点钟，我甲你算你的annual leave vacation 看，甲你整一个8点钟来考一工，看你的家庭看你考偌济，安尼来分析。所以头几个月我们都3点多的康复法在那个，还有7点。所以种一个困难的就讲我也当结合到尾啊，台湾本来有一个说一个泡面一样，因为泡面所以有我叫完这水电，要做事，后续就来上面，我按这个样子这样我确认，到尾啊，也要改塞车，这个塞车最难做。伊即马一卡到无啦，一卡到倒卡到无，正卡到无啦。咱来可能无注意，咱咧塞车时，正卡打去用，甲倒倒用正卡，无伊正卡无啦。所以车一款的迄个设计啊，让你倒面打，这样可以用当打做个杠杆的这样子，倒，这倒是较重，所以倒卡当成个重倒车。所以尾啊当塞车，当去想当重要。到尾从好，伊有必要无落地啊讲好来就是好，能够当所以这是一个我讲作大讲上帝啊，你照顾你，有开一条路互你行，无你看3礼拜看遐倒去头路当时做对我照顾。Then after the recovery, we go through some houses. But finally, the bottom line is that she started to be able to walk herself. And one of the miracles is that she can even drive the car with the left foot. We all know that we put the pedal or the brake with the right leg. But there's some kind of spot device that uses left leg to drive the car. And her hand is strong enough to go to the steering wheel. So she passed the exam and goes through all these difficult things. Now, during this period of time, I have some kind of personal reflection, and this is sort of thinking what I'm thinking. Okay, this is the reflection. On my part, I have been a doctor. This time I'm different. I am the parent of family of patients. I have a different way of looking at all these things. First, even though I'm a doctor, I will really feel scared and helpless, hopeless. Thinking about 3 weeks. Your daughter stayed in bed, cannot move the leg at all, completely paralyzed. And the doctor cannot tell why was the reason. By the way, they have sent the spinal fluid exam to Houston, to a lot of different kind of lab, and they cannot find out what kind of virus is that. So without explanation, it's really making me scared. What will happen if you stop breathing? What will happen if you stay paralyzed without recovery? What will happen if you fail school? All these things that really make us scared and frightened. 我即摆做一个，我做医生科，我才从家长这里来回想这个代志。我实际上做惊的，我到底这样办的？伊人有创意的啵，伊人从来都没领导的啵，做一个负面的情况，我就有较好成功。另外一个情况，拢大家去受是安怎上帝，互阮这个查某囝得着，是安怎？你是不是去迄个动物园去动物园做迄个无人机，是不是有参与代志？要有啥物摆是讲哈佛的迄个 lab 变起动物，这动物大家要去照片啊，要是 你请我做下我是讲需要这样子，我是讲这一块是咱无法度了解，所以我有这款的经验第三项代志就是讲我行到迄个医生知我是医生所以讲你这查某囝的 case 要提出来 case conference 就讲大家讨论过，你问医生你来参加，你看我大家咧讨论看你当地的靠了解，迄个医生就讲你来。我唔敢去办，我唔敢去看阮查某囝的 case。So other reflection is that I'm scared, I'm angry. Why God will make us sick, and we cannot find any kind of cause or the agent causing that. And then also, the doctor, the treating physician, invited me to go to the case conference to review my daughter's case, but I just don't have the guts to go. I said, go ahead. I cannot stand going there and listening to the case. So those are some of the things that I have gone through in my life. Okay? And then, during the hospitalization, my hope, I have a hope, I wish that attending doctor will come to see my daughter more often. Spend a little more time, tell me what are the problems with my daughter. And then, that was the kind of experience I had. And then they feel like, well, I got to be a better doctor. So after that, I try to be more attentive to my patient. And I try to spend a little more time with my patient. Well, I say I want to do that, but I don't know. I don't think I really, before I can do that, after a certain period of time, then I kind of get back to my old habits. But I did experience it at that time. I want to be a better doctor. So understand the stress, the anxiety of the family. 我做医生希望讲去处理书的，较长时间来看我的病。所以我等于以后等于做医生的时候，好，我拢爱对别人卡手较好，所以我有时间来讲一个会较放心点如果有人是问可能我如果为了我完全都袂出来，所以我爱继续去拍片较更较正面的，就是讲我真正感觉讲咱朋友咱的这个我一处皮肤病的人，上帝拢透过这样来帮忙我，我感觉讲得到真大的这个帮忙，甚至迄学校内底校长就敲电话来阮兜咧，甲讲恁这个查某囝我来一个礼拜，佮咱大介绍一个解剖的老师，伊就生啊，所以就这一卡咧，所以存一卡咧，所以伊若咧实习，咧教册咧是报上面拢爱用有恋爱以后，要安怎注意？只要法律讲阿爸你就爱去倒爱去手术吧，你这卡里面哪里严重？所以得叫迄个老师，一卡的迄个老师来讲做这。我讲这款拢我想袂到的，讲哪有这款的结果的安排所以我真正是这个英文的有感就是讲我无想到出来，上帝讲伊咧照顾我。我即马讲这三岁你想困难的时候人两种，一种就是讲就是讲三岁can make you different， 你作痛苦，安尼作 victim， 安尼情况下去。三岁 can also make you better， 你会当较好。所以这句话，这是讲咱所讲讲的。我讲这句话当咱来反省suffer can make you different or can make you better。啥物讲的时阵会当互你 better， 会当互你较好。就讲当然，你若有迄个信仰基础，你对上帝有信心，你会当去体验到上帝对你的这个稳定，对稳定的，是你会当家己安怎处理。然后你的心情，你的信仰会当有改变。安尼时阵，你会当即中间得到鼓舞。安尼得到感谢，安尼会当 cry closer to God， 較上帝較接近。假使你若無這款的回應，你拄着困難的時陣，你敢不要問佢，你會作對着這苦難死人，你袂較爽，袂較好勢，你敢生活會較好。所以我講這句話，我大家做參考。Suffer can make it better or different。迄個 difference 就是講看你信仰還是無。所以我甲我大家講，你攏是祝福去啊，咱一隻就是回應咱的信仰。有一天，有咧咱會拄着試驗，試驗的時候，你要咱拍出來這個信仰，互你款的能力來克服。所以咱是好去啊。So this is a saying that I think we can all think about. Suffer will make it better, will make it better. It's very important that we're facing God and knowing that He's going to take care of us. So He'll give you a way out. If you don't have that kind of faith, it can be very difficult for you when you face the suffering kind of things that you can remain bitter. Okay, next slide. Yeah, I want to just also go through these verses a little bit more. Then I will have more conclusion times. I have a good friend. I mentioned to you a friend in the medical school, in the university. They knock at the door of a dormitory every Sunday and ask me to go to church. And he later goes to Japan and become a very successful businessman. And in 1970s, when I was still in Chicago, his business is not doing that great. And he told me the first Christmas card and said, my business failed miserably this year, but I want to continue. And he quoted this Bible verses and gave me encouragement, and give himself encouragement and say, God is still here for us. So give us our way out and continue to wait and then to trust God. And that was the later, I still remember, 20, 30 years ago, he wrote to me. Maybe I'm just the first couple years in the United States and still more settled, so I also start doesn't feel too good. So this passage really gave him encouragement. The original idea was that he having a problem, and then he wrote this later in Christmas card with this Bible verse. So up to this time, I still remember. This is a very a good, famous Bible verse, and I will remember it for a while. 就我覺得講起就是咱了去日本做生意，做了咱頭先無啥好勢，不要做這個東西就可以睇到電視。台灣那個電視公司那個 Good News Television， 我們都蠻有名所以你出來做生意好好勢，就是不像 Christmas card， 大家下次哇，這東西做生意，你出來做得唔好，不然比較高，比較辛苦，我愛這個公務。所以咱看這個聖經，我看裡面這個內有3項代志，我比較參詳。第一個這個叫你的聖功，無非是人所能受的氣場，無非是人所能受的。你按為聖經講，無是哪個相書，所以這個代志就是講，伊互你氣場的時候，一定袂講我的氣場來多變的，這是頭一個代志，這是聖經來講。第二樣代志講，上帝是信心的，信心。第三項代志是講，你看替你彼此當中互你做，所以你該想，假設你來想，講上帝，我哋拄着困難，如果我哋其他的對面，第四項代志就是講上帝是通信靠的。第三代志一定找一條路你出來。假如你若是會當踏踏來底相信這代志，我想無啥物代志會當互你，會當互你，甲你引導會當你會當好好地為這個天氣。So in this Bible verse, there are 3 messages I want to emphasize. One is that the test will not be unbearable to us, which eventually we get through. The second message tells us is that God is true. The third one is that He is going to find a way out. this is good news to us. I say God will help us and get us out of the trouble. Next. This is the Bible verse that Paul gave it to the Colossians, the Christian there, about the temptation. He said, you should have faith in God, and God can offer help to resist all kind of temptation. God will not give up upon us and always find a way out to us. So this is what I am repeating of the message. And this is also an encouragement and support for me and my family goes through the illness of sharing. The whole situation seems to be so hopeless and unbearable. With God's love through people around us, give us a way out. So Sharon recovered from illness, graduated from death school, got licensed and practiced medicine in Rhode Island. This is my experience. 保羅冇念多嘅基督徒，即係好教士，同你講，我係相信上帝，我唔係信上帝，亦佢哋聽你就是條出路。我拄到這個社會嘅這個破壞嘅時候，我係哪裡一款嘅經驗，上帝真正會甲你幫忙，從過咱是唔啲嘅嘛，係嘅，做一條路可以做。即馬最後一點嚟講。咱即馬教會剛剛有拄到困難嘅所在，咱即馬目前無牧師，有拄到困難嘅時陣，請咱大家理解。咱講是人講，即間是上帝教會，咱大家愛去先認真去想上帝交代咱嘅責任是啥物。咱唔是為着人，為着丟路，有即事，有牧師咧做啥物代志，咱是為着上帝。咱有信心，講上帝會聽咱這間教會，上帝會帶咱發離開這個困境，跟講是咱全部會當嚟做。Now I want to just conclude to say that our church seems like to have a difficult period of time now because of our ministry. With the personal experience with this, I firmly believe that God will take care of our church, and then if we put trust in Him and we can work together, God will lead a way and let us out of this. Okay. One